Is a Spurs Knicks finals a virtual lock? And if we get Dr. X and we've moved on to other topics, we'll certainly get his take on this. But after watching what we saw last night, to me, this is the question. And me and Jason and Kai hashed this out last night. And so let's dive in, man. I'll go first. The answer for me is yes. Okay. I know this series isn't actually over, technically, officially, all that kind of stuff. However, to me, the Spurs won this series in game 4. I thought game 4 was just crucial. If OKC wins that game, they're up 3-1 heading back home. Basically, series over, okay? San Antonio would not have been able to win 3 straight against OKC, in my humble opinion. But now that the Spurs have won, they've swung it. The pendulum is on their side now. They're in the driver's seat, and here's why. Reason number 1, San Antonio's clearly a better basketball team. 4-1 in the regular season, 6-3 overall head up with this team. That's 9 games. That's a big sample size. Fox and Harper are playing. J-Dub and AJ are not. The only thing that can stop Wemby is the only other player in our game who is as serious as Wemby. Jalen Brundog, number 11 in New York, okay? He's the only guy that can stop Wemby right now. Guys, the basketball gods, number 5. The basketball gods are over the foul baiting and the falling down. And lightning bolts are coming down on the Thunder. 6, finally, off topic. The NFL always considers ending the tush-push every offseason, right? And because Jeff Lurie is such a badass gangster, he's like, over my dead body. And they're like, okay, we'll continue to do it. All right. And so the NBA needs to take a closer look at OKC's tactics and determine if a new officiating emphasis needs to be adopted for next season. Just want to put that out there because it's far better than anything. It's far better than anything you'll get on that 4-letter show that does a similar thing, but at a much lower level than we do. And Dwight and I were going back and forth. Oh my God. Okay. Just don't get me started. Ashley, you go first or second on this one. And Dwight, you will have a wide open meta to go as far as you want. Ashley, is a Spurs Knicks finals a virtual lock?
No, it's a 7-game series. I think we tend to be prisoner of the moment. I mean, you take a look at game 1 when the Spurs won on the road in OKC, suddenly it's OKC is getting swept. You really have that level of disrespect for a team that just won a championship last year, who has a 2-time MVP on their roster. And then you take a look at game 3. I thought game 3 showed a lot of what we needed to see in that series when you have a team like OKC whose bench outscored the Spurs by 53 points. And then their bench scored 76 points. So OKC won 2 in a row right there. And we could talk about regular season all we want. Oh, the Spurs won 4-1. It's a regular season game. The playoffs are different. OKC has been here before. They're poised in big moments. They don't fold. Yes, yesterday's game was different. We all know the power of Popovich when he walks into that locker room after game 3 and said, y'all better get your ish together because you need to defend home court. This is unacceptable, right? And they came out and played and they handled business the way it needed to be done. And I will say, defensively, the Spurs looked fantastic. And it led to a lot of easy transition buckets. They let in fast break points. They let in the paint. But I will say, we could talk about the refs all we want, but they gave the Spurs the edge yesterday. And there are several clips of Wemby flopping too. So I don't want to hear it anymore, right? They are starting to play OKC's game. And if that's the way we need to get it done, that's the way we need to get it done. But I'm going to call it both ways. It's the officiating's fault for not taking action here. I'm not going to blame OKC. They're just playing, like you said, tactical basketball. They're figuring out ways to get an edge. Yes, of course, Shea is the biggest flopper in the NBA, and there's multiple clips that we can show to prove that. But at the end of the day, this is not a lock. I don't allow one game to completely taint my predictions for the series, and I'm still taking OKC in 7. I trust the team that's been here before, that's been here in tough moments, that's been able to close out a series. They got the MVP on their roster. They have, to me, they have more depth. So I think this is still going to go to Game 7. It's not a lock, and but I will say it is a lock in the East, and the Knicks are definitely going to the finals.
All right, Dwight, go ahead, my friend.
To Ashley's point, I'm gonna give the Thunder the defending champion their respect. I don't think this is a virtual lock. Spurs Knicks in the final. However, there's one caveat. I totally respect Jalen Williams and what he brings to the table for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But if AJ Mitchell does not play for the rest of the series, I think he will. But if he does not play for the rest of the series or is hampered or hobbled by his current injury, the Thunder, for me, are in trouble. You saw the real Alex Caruso last night. You saw SGA, who we understand that he can affect winning in different ways other than scoring. But he's a lot easier to guard when you don't have AJ Mitchell nor the aforementioned Jalen Williams out there. Williams, to me, the Thunder can, quote unquote, and I put it up in air quotes, they can get away without Jalen Williams. They can't get away without both AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams, which is why I'm focusing on AJ, because I don't think we're going to see Jalen Williams for the rest of the playoffs because of the hamstring. The hamstring is tricky. He may come back, but you wouldn't be surprised if he was to re-aggravate the injury and then be totally done for the season. So that's the caveat. I still think the Thunder have the edge because they have Game 7 at home. Yes, I've predicted that the Spurs would not only win the conference, but win the championship. But the Thunder have too much experience. They have a ton of depth, but that depth has been seriously compromised by the injury to AJ Mitchell. Not so much Jalen Williams, but a lot more for me with AJ Mitchell. This slots Jared McCain and Alex Caruso to their proper positions. And when they're asked to do more off the dribble, they're not as effective. Alex Caruso, you can't go from scoring 31, having great games in, say, 2 of the 3 games, that all of a sudden you take one shot in Game 4. That speaks a lot, and it speaks to AJ Mitchell not being on the floor. Again, I'm not throwing shade, and I do not want to disrespect Jalen Williams in any way, shape, or form. But the reality is, AJ Mitchell has been terrific in these playoffs. The Thunder need him. So, unless he plays, I think we're in store for a Spurs Knicks NBA final. Mitchell has to play as far as I'm concerned. If you noticed, I didn't even talk about the Knicks Cavs, because the Cavs, their legs are finished. They've been through way too much. And I've already put it on our group chat, and I said it to Ashley privately as well. I think the Knicks are going to benefit from whomever comes out of the Western Conference, because it's a total slugfest in the West, and the Knicks haven't lost since April 23rd. The Knicks on the QT have been the best team in the NBA playoffs. It's time to give them their comeuppance. It's time to give them their flowers. We got to give them total respect. We can sit here and talk about how the Eastern Conference is weaker. I don't believe it, but hey, that's the narrative, so let's go with it. However, it don't matter. The Knicks are going to be primed and ready for whomever they play in the NBA Finals. I'm looking forward to it. I know my cousin is looking forward to it. I know AM is looking forward to it. I know all my New York family and friends are looking forward to it. The Knicks are primed to win an NBA championship this season, regardless of who they play. because rested legs are going to defeat tired legs any day of the week, as far as I'm concerned. It is a bloodbath in the West. It's been easy peasy for the Knicks in the Eastern Conference.
All right, two things before we move on here. The real Caruso, really? We're doing him like that? He's one of the best role players I've ever seen. So, but that's your take. That one kind of caught me. And Cavs legs? Nah, it ain't legs. The Knicks are in a totally different class than the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just my humble opinion, but phenomenal takes by you guys. I can't give that to the Cavs, right? They're just not nearly as good as this Knicks team for me. And I didn't even play the Harden card there. I just went with overall. Okay, I want this one to be kind of a shorty, right? Like a shallow dive here, because we got a ton of topics and all kinds of layers. And Dwight and Ashley both. A lot of the stuff you've kind of touched on, we have debate topics for, okay?